of this one. Cathy Engelbert looks like she may be on her way out as WNBA commissioner. I mean, this is bad. This is really, really bad. You have WNBA owners and executives coming out and saying that they believe that Cathy Engelbert should be fired and removed as commissioner of the WNBA.
And it's an interesting one because it seems like the WNBA owners hate Cathy Engelbert as much as the players do and as much as the fans do. It genuinely seems like there's not one person in the WNBA ecosystem.
The WNBA is on fire, but not in the way it should be. While its popularity is exploding thanks to a new generation of stars, its front office is imploding. At the center of the blaze is Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, who is now facing a full-blown rebellion from the very people who put her in power. The league is a house divided, with players who feel betrayed, fans who boo her on sight, and owners who are now secretly plotting her removal. So the question is, how did the leader of a league on the rise end up as the most hated person in the entire organization?
It says here, change is a must. Have the owners lost faith in Cathy Engelbert? She was obviously booed off. It says once you have that kind of fighting with your best players, one team exec said, it's a death spiral. Tensions brew throughout the WNBA season as players and coaches express frustration with officiating, and as CBA negotiations intensified, but with the conversation shifted especially towards Engelbert during the semi-finals. Obviously, we know about Fee's exit interview and the Caitlin Clark talk, and Cathy Engelbert basically said it wasn't true. And
it all started with whispers behind closed doors, but now the revolt is out in the open. According to a damning ESPN report, multiple WNBA owners have privately admitted they've completely lost faith in Cathy Engelbert's leadership. This isn't just a simple disagreement, it's a boardroom mutiny. One owner went on record anonymously stating that if a vote were held today, they would push for a replacement. The people who sign the checks are officially done with her, believing her leadership has become exhausting and counterproductive. But this wasn't a sudden development, it was the explosive result of years of simmering tension.
If you fire her now, it's admitting weakness. It's a terrible look for the NBA, another owner said. I can't stand what Collier did. That was a private conversation. It makes me not want to fire her, even though I think she should be fired. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. Like, even if Cathy should be fired, the NBA aren't going to fire Cathy Engelbert because it makes them look weak.
The final spark that lit this inferno was Engelbert's jaw-droppingly tone-deaf comments about Caitlin Clark. After a season where Clark was relentlessly targeted with rough plays and questionable officiating, Engelbert went public and dismissed the entire narrative as not true. In one single statement, she invalidated the concerns of her league's biggest star, alienated millions of new fans who were watching the abuse with their own eyes, and made the entire WNBA front office look completely disconnected from reality. The team executive called it a death spiral, warning that once you declare war on your biggest assets, there is no coming back.
I think it's pretty clear that the players do not trust Cathy Engelbert. And it's actually been clear for a while. And I can tell you that I have had private conversations with players, and both former and present. And many of them have expressed the exact same thing that Nafisha Collier said. And if you notice across social media, from Angel Reese to all different players, they were all doing this. The players and the owners and league leadership are at odds because they feel like so far these CBA negotiations have very much reflected that mentality. I'm pretty sure a deal is not going to get done. Not if Cathy Engelbert is the one leading these negotiations. A deal is absolutely not going to get done because the players have no respect for her. He is probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, in that this leadership can't continue if it's like this. And so this is her and the players' way of getting Cathy Engelbert about the paint.
But the anger from players didn't just start with Caitlin Clark. This was merely the tipping point. For years, veterans and rising stars alike have felt ignored and disrespected by Engelberts on fundamental issues. They've consistently raised complaints about the grueling reality of commercial travel, which left them exhausted for games, while the league dragged its feet on charter flights. They've pointed out the ridiculously small roster sizes that force talented players out of the league every single year. They saw her as a commissioner who was more focused on corporate buzzwords and PowerPoint presentations than on their actual health, safety, and well-being. The Clark situation simply confirmed their worst fears. The person in charge just didn't get it.
Engelbert. One of the lasting images of the WNBA season was Engelbert getting relentlessly booed by the crowd at Phoenix Phoenix's mortgage matchup center during the Aces championship trophies presentation. A smaller group of fans continued the ruckus as she walked off the court and into a tunnel. They was booing her. They was flicking her off. All types of stuff. She got
While the players' frustration was growing, the owners were dealing with a crisis of their own, one that Engelbert herself created. Many now deeply regret one of her biggest financial moves. In 2022, she raised $75 million by selling a 16% stake in the WNBA to outside investors. At the time, it was hailed as a brilliant strategy to inject capital into the league. But now, owners say it has handcuffed them, adding layers of corporate bureaucracy that slow down every decision. An insider revealed that this move, designed to empower the league, ultimately cost the original owners control and flexibility, creating a messy power structure that has done more harm than good. On top of her questionable business decisions is her widely criticized leadership style. Across the league, owners and executives have described Engelbert's communication as condescending and even derogatory. Multiple sources claim she talks down to anyone who questions her, and her defensive tone instantly kills any hope of a productive conversation. The frustration has reached a boiling point, with one insider stating bluntly, "The owners hate her too." This isn't just a professional disagreement over strategy anymore. For many, it's become a deep personal resentment fueled by what they see as constant disrespect from their own commissioner. This attitude problem has had disastrous real-world consequences. Her tendency to dismiss concerns is exactly what led to the Caitlin Clark PR nightmare. When players brought up safety, she waved it away. When fans pointed out obvious officiating bias, she claimed the refs were being unfairly criticized. It's a pattern of denial that has made her seem utterly detached from the sport she's supposed to be leading. One league source put it perfectly: "She talks numbers, we talk people." That single quote explains everything. While Engelbert is looking at spreadsheets showing growth, her league's biggest stars are giving exit interviews saying they feel unsupported and unsafe. With almost everyone inside the WNBA turning on her, one powerful figure remains firmly in her corner: NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who holds the ultimate power over her job. Publicly, Silver continues to praise Engelbert, highlighting the WNBA's viewership and revenue growth under her tenure. But behind the scenes, insiders believe he's protecting her for one selfish reason: optics. Firing her now would be a massive public admission that the NBA made a catastrophic hiring mistake, and it would make the parent league look weak. A source confirmed this theory, stating bluntly, "If you fire her now, it's admitting weakness. It's a terrible look for the NBA." This protection from Silver has become a source of intense frustration. He praises her business acumen, but everyone inside the league knows the recent growth has been driven by superstars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Aja Wilson, who are pulling in new fans in spite of the commissioner, not because of her. Silver's public defense is seen as a calculated PR move to save face. He's essentially keeping an unpopular and ineffective leader in her chair to protect his own pride and the NBA's image, while the entire WNBA burns around them. It's a shocking betrayal in the eyes of many owners and players who feel trapped. All of this internal chaos is happening as a doomsday clock ticks down. The league's current collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, is set to expire. This document dictates everything from player salaries and travel conditions to revenue sharing for the next decade. Insiders are saying there is a 0% chance a new deal gets signed on time. The atmosphere is completely toxic. Players don't trust Engelbert to negotiate in good faith, and the owners don't trust her to lead them through the process without creating another public relations disaster. The stakes couldn't be higher. Inside these fractured negotiations, the two sides are miles apart. Players like Chelsea Gray and Brianna Turner have already said the current offers are not even in the same ballpark as what they expect. They are demanding higher salaries, a bigger cut of league revenue, guaranteed card chains, and a full commitment to charter flights for every team. These are seen as reasonable requests for a league on the rise. However, the owners themselves are divided. Some want to invest heavily to fuel more growth, while others want to cut costs. And Cathy Engelbert is stuck in the middle, failing to unite her own side, let alone build a bridge to the players. One of the most visible and embarrassing failures under Engelbert has been the officiating. Throughout the season, fans, players, and coaches have relentlessly complained about missed calls, random technical fouls, and clear bias. But instead of taking action, the league, under Engelbert's direction, has maintained a policy of not punishing refs for single-game mistakes. This means there is zero accountability. The same crews who botch a critical playoff game can show up 2 nights later without any consequences. It has created an atmosphere where no one trusts the integrity of the game, and the person who approved this broken system is the commissioner herself. This all leads back to the single biggest missed opportunity in WNBA history, the Caitlin Clark effect. The league was handed a cultural phenomenon on a silver platter, a player who brought in millions of new fans, sold out arenas nationwide, and shattered every existing viewership record. An insider confirmed that if the league had managed it properly, they'd be printing money by now. Instead, Engelbert's administration fumbled it completely. They failed to market her effectively, failed to protect her publicly from the backlash, and allowed the narrative to be controlled by negativity, turning a golden goose into an internal war. This dysfunction has created a house divided, not just between players in the league, but among the owners themselves. Sources say there is a growing split in the ownership ranks. On one side are the modern, aggressive owners who want to spend big on marketing, facilities, and player salaries to compete with other major sports leagues. On the other side are the more traditional, cost-conscious owners who are hesitant to make those massive investments. Engelbert has proven completely incapable of uniting these two factions, leaving the league stuck in the middle, unable to make bold decisions. The damage from this leadership crisis is already starting to show. After Caitlin Clark's team was eliminated from the playoffs, TV ratings took a noticeable dip, proving how fragile the new audience is. The media narrative has soured, shifting from celebrating a new era of growth to openly questioning if the league's leadership can even survive another year. Even corporate sponsors are reportedly getting nervous, with some beginning to ask what's really going on behind the curtain. When the money starts getting worried, you know the crisis has reached a critical level. As the commissioner loses support from the top, a silent rebellion is growing from the bottom. It's no longer just the outspoken stars complaining. Veterans who usually stay out of league politics are starting to speak up. Rookies are entering the league with a sense of distrust for the front office. Even coaches are subtly voicing their frustrations in post-game press conferences. One executive said it best: the league can't move forward until Cathy moves out. A unified front is forming, demanding a reset and new leadership that actually understands the people who make the league run. Ultimately, this is no longer a simple debate about basketball strategy. It's a fight for the soul of the WNBA. Is it a cold corporate entity run by spreadsheets and PR statements, or is it a community of passionate athletes and fans who deserve to be heard? Cathy Engelbert has lost the players, she's lost the owners, and the only person still defending her seems more concerned with his own image than with fixing the actual problems. The real question now isn't just whether she will be replaced, but whether the league can recover from the damage she's leaving behind.